all my dear students to Sudharma's Physics Classroom. We are on the chapter Motion from CBSE grade 9. In the previous video, we have derived the equations of motion and we have done a lot of sample questions on how to apply the equations of motion. So today we are going to discuss graphical representation of motion and how do we derive the equations of motion using graphs. Okay, so this is also one of the most important topics in grade 9. In examination, we may get a question to derive the equations of motion using mathematical method, and another expectation is to derive the equation of motion using graphs. Okay, so before understanding how to derive equations of motion using graphs, we need to know how do we analyze a graph, right? So let's understand different types of graphs first. Okay, so on a graph, we know on x and y axis we will be taking two quantities and we will be representing the relation between those two quantities in the form of a graph, right? So first let's see the distance time graph. So we have already understood what is uniform motion and what is non-uniform motion, right? So uniform motion means if a body covers equal distances in equal intervals of time, that gives a uniform motion. If a body covers unequal distances in equal intervals of time, then that represents a non-uniform motion. And during that discussion, I mentioned that uniform motion, the distance time graph will be a straight line, right? So the first graph you see here, that is for uniform motion. Distance time graph gives you it's a straight line for uniform motion, and for non-uniform motion it is going to be a curve. Now what we are going to get from this graph? We are plotting the distance covered by this object in each time, right? Say 1 second, 2 seconds, 3 seconds, etc. How much distance it is covering. So we can say that the slope of the graph, okay, the slope of the graph will give you the velocity. So if you plot displacement along y-axis and time along x-axis, you will get velocity. If you plot distance traveled and time, then you will get speed. Now the question is how to find out this slope of the graph. How many of you know how to find the slope of the graph? We will be taking 2 points on the graph. Let me name it as A and B. Okay, so corresponding to A and B, let's see what is the reading on y-axis. Okay, and at the same time on x-axis also. X-axis we have time and on y-axis we have distance. So we are going to take the slope of this graph. So let me name this as C. So slope is equal to BC divided by AC. How do you find out BC? The value corresponding to distance at the position B minus whatever marking is there on the graph at the position C. Okay. Similarly, for time, whatever the reading shows on time axis at the position C minus the reading on or the marking on position A. So slope is equal to BC by AC. That will give you the velocity of the object. Okay, so if it is displacement time graph, generally we can say it is position time graph. If it is displacement time graph, we will be getting velocity, and if it is distance traveled and time taken, you will get the speed. Okay, so this is about distance time graph. And for non-uniform motion, we will be getting a curve. So here, see, in the case of uniform motion, since it is a straight line, whichever point you take the slope, you will get the same value. Throughout the motion, the velocity is going to be same, right? But in the case of your non-uniform motion, the velocity is going to be different at different points. So suppose I want to find out the average velocity between these 2 points. I can take 2 points A and B. I draw a straight line between A and B. Because it's a curve, we cannot take a direct slope from there. So I just take 2 points in between during whichever time interval I want to find out this velocity. I take the 2 points and draw a straight line between them, then take the slope of that straight line. Okay, here again slope is y by x. Okay, slope of any graph you can get by y intercept by x intercept. So BC divided by AC will give you this velocity of, or here it is average velocity, because it is non-uniform motion. Every point during every time interval the velocity will be different, so we can say that it is average velocity. V average is equal to BC divided by AC. Understood, right? So I will be giving you questions on this in the coming video. Okay, we will apply all this knowledge and find out the values. Another type of graph we have to learn is velocity time graph. So velocity time graph is velocity along x-axis, y-axis, and time along x-axis. So here also we have velocity. So here we have velocity and time along x-axis. So the first graph, the velocity, the time is increasing. You can see the time is increasing, right? But the velocity graph, it is a straight line parallel to the time axis. So that gives you a constant velocity. There is no change in velocity, right? If there is a change in velocity, the velocity value should be changing. Accordingly, the graph will be different. But here, there is a graph which is parallel to the time axis. So that represents constant velocity. And if it is uniform velocity, right? Uniform acceleration, not uniform velocity, it's uniform acceleration. Velocity changes at a regular interval of time, right? So it is called as it's called as uniform acceleration. So velocity time graph for uniform acceleration, it will be a straight line. Now this velocity time graph has many advantages. In the distance time graph we have seen we can find out the velocity, but from what we can find out from velocity time graph, let's see the slope of the graph. Right now already we learned how to find the slope of the graph. Take any 2 points A and B, then take the slope, right? So slope of a velocity time graph will give you acceleration. Okay, slope of a velocity time graph gives you acceleration. Do you know how it is coming as acceleration? Slope is equal to BC divided by AC, right? BC divided by AC. So what is there in BC? We have velocity, right? Change in velocity. What is there in x-axis? AC. AC is representing time. V by t, right? V by t, change in velocity by time. We are taking the change in velocity from this position to this position, right? So that gives you change in velocity and change in time. So you will get acceleration. This is how we are getting acceleration from the slope of the graph. One more thing we can find out from this velocity time graph is we can find out the area of the graph. Area under the graph will give you the distance traveled. Distance traveled by the body. Okay, so how area coming under this graph will give you the distance covered by the body. Say if you are taking the area of this graph, let me say this is O, A, and let's say this is coming at B. Okay, so this is a triangle, right? So area, how do you calculate? Area A is equal to half into base into height. This is the formula for area of the triangle, because the graph is creating a triangular area under this graph, right? So area is equal to half into base into h. So which quantity is there on the base? It's half into whatever value let it be, but we are just checking how we are getting that distance travel, right? We have time. On height is AB, right? AB is representing velocity into time, right? We have velocity is equal to distance by time, so velocity into time will give you distance. Okay, so this is how we are getting the area under the graph as the distance traveled, and slope of the velocity time graph will give you the acceleration of the object. Okay, acceleration, and we can draw a retardation graph like this. Retardation is negative acceleration, right? So it will have a negative slope. So here how do you take the slope of the graph? We take this 2 points, right? So final minus, see, A, B, C. Here again it's BC by AC, but we will be getting a negative value because there is a decrease in velocity. And for non-uniform acceleration, the velocity time graph is going to be a curve. Okay, so these are the basic knowledge we need to derive the equations of motion. And if you are given a graph, you should be able to answer what type of motion it is representing. Hope the concept is clear to you. Now let's move on to the derivations of equations of motion using graphs. So let's quickly revise all the three equations of motion. What are the equations of motion? V equals U plus AT, S equals UT plus half AT square, then V square is equal to U square plus 2AS. Hope all of you have studied the derivation of these three equations of motion using the mathematical method. Now let's derive these equations of motion using graphical method. Since we know the equations, it is very easy for us to derive now. Okay. Now we are going to derive these equations of motion using a single graph, that is a velocity time graph for uniform acceleration. For uniform acceleration, we have a straight line graph. So here the graph is not starting from 0. Okay. The body is initially moving with a velocity u and it is attaining a velocity v. Okay. So OA represents initial velocity and BC represents final velocity. So let's write down what we get from the graph. Okay. So it's just a straight line graph. So this is how you draw this graph. So it has an initial velocity. It just goes straight. Okay. So it's not starting from origin. It has an initial velocity and this corresponds to the final velocity. Okay. Hope it is clear. Now from the graph we can write initial velocity u is equal to OA and final velocity v is equal to BC. Okay. Now we are just going to apply some geometrical idea. Okay. So we have BC. Okay. BC is our final velocity. Okay. So BC, observe what I'm going to do. BC is equal to BD plus DC. Clear? BC is equal to BD plus DC. So what is BC? BC is final velocity. So we can write V is equal to BD plus DC. Now coming to DC. DC is this distance, right? So that is exactly equal to OA. So we can write DC. So BD I'm keeping as it is. BD plus DC is OA. Okay. So it's equal to BD plus OA. OA is U. So we are getting an equation V is equal to BD plus U. Okay. Now we need to find out what is this BD. Okay. So we know that from velocity time graph, the slope of the graph will give you the acceleration. So we can write acceleration A is equal to slope, right? Slope of line AB, right? Slope of the line AB. So acceleration is equal to, what is slope of line AB? It is BD divided by AD, right? BD divided by AD. What is AD? We can write AD is equal to, observe carefully on the diagram, AD is equal to OC, right? AD is equal to OC, that is nothing but the time. Okay. So A is equal to BD by AD or BD, this is what we have to find out, right? BD is equal to A multiplied by AD, that is A multiplied by OC, that is A into OC, that is equal to A into T. Okay. So we are getting B is equal to A multiplied by T. So we have this equation here, right? Here I can write V is equal to AT plus U. Or we have first equation of motion, V equals U plus AT. Very simple, right? Very simple. What you have to do is, first of all, you need to understand how to draw the graph. So we are going to draw the graph for velocity time graph for uniformly accelerated motion. So slope of the velocity time graph will give you the acceleration. So that is how we are finding out. I'll explain once again. We have initial velocity u is equal to OA and v is equal to BC. Observe the graph. BC is equal to BD. Observe here, BD plus DC. BD, that line BC, I'm just splitting into BD plus DC. So BD, right? BD plus DC, BD plus, instead of DC, I'm taking OA because it's exactly parallel to that DC. So it's OA. OA is our initial velocity. Now we have to find out what is BD. So BD, to find out BD, we are taking the concept acceleration is equal to slope of the graph, right? So slope, when we find out, slope is BD by AD. AD is equal to OC because they are parallel sides of that rectangle, OADC. So that is equal to time. So BD, we will get it as A into T. So B equals AT and V equals AT plus U, or V equals U plus AT. This can come as a 3-mark question. Sure question, any one of these equations of motion. Trust me, this will come as your question. Okay, in the first term exam, definitely this one of these questions will appear. So practice carefully and go. Okay, so a sure mark we can grab, right? Now coming to the derivation of second equation of motion. To derive the second equation of motion, again we are going to use the same graph. Okay, so that is what I'm saying. You have to see, if they are asking all the 3 equations of motion, you have to draw only a single graph. That is okay. But in between, if they ask, okay, derive the second equation of motion or derive the third equation of motion, still you need to understand how to draw the graph, right? Because if they ask to derive from graph, we are supposed to derive using the graph. Because if you simply derive using the other method, you will not get marked there. Okay. So here I'm going to use the idea distance traveled by the object is equal to area under this graph. Okay. So distance traveled. What is distance traveled by the object from the graph, from the velocity time graph? That is equal to area under area of O, A, B, C. Right? Here this is A. Okay, this is A. Okay, O, A, B, C. Okay, so how do we find out the area of this graph? There is a triangle and there is a rectangle. So area of triangle A, B, D plus area of this rectangle. Which rectangle we have? O, A, D, C. Okay, so we are splitting this area into a triangle and a rectangle. Okay, now let's find out the area of the triangle A, B, D. Area is equal to, observe carefully, area of the triangle is equal to half into base into height, right? So half into AD into BD. What is AD? Half into AD. AD is time. BD, and now I'm just taking that BD from the previous derivation. Previous derivation we had BD is equal to A into T. Understand how I have taken it? So I'm getting it as half AT square. Because BD I have taken from the previous derivation. If it is individually asked, you have to find out BD using the slope of the graph. Already we have discussed in the first derivation, right? Now we have the rectangle. What is a rectangle? O, A, D, C. Area is equal to, area of the rectangle is equal to OA into OC, right? OA is initial velocity, OC is T. So area of that rectangle is equal to OA into OC. So distance traveled S is equal to, as per our formula, distance traveled is equal to area of the triangle ABD plus area of the rectangle OADC. That means we have rectangle OADC area is UT plus area of the triangle is half AT square. Very simple, right? Very simple. Have you ever imagined it is so easy to derive the equations of motion using graphs? It is very simple. Okay, follow the steps, understand what you're doing, then it is going to be really easy. No need to by heart anything. Just practice 2-3 times. Write in your own way, just understand what we have done. Here, see, I'll give you a trick to solve the third equation of motion, to derive the third equation of motion. We are going to use the same trick, that it's area under the graph. But what we have done here is, area under the graph, I have divided this area into a triangle and a rectangle. Okay, now in the third equation of motion, we are going to use the same trick as I said. Distance traveled is equal to area of, see, area under the graph, right? So instead of splitting that into two shapes, I am going to take that complete trapezium. Okay, area of trapezium. Hope you are understanding. Area of the trapezium, OABC. Okay. Remember, in the derivation of second equation of motion, we have split this area into a triangle and a rectangle. Now, we are just taking the complete trapezium OABC. Okay. So, OABC, how do you find out the area of the trapezium? What is the formula for area of a trapezium? If you don't know, I'll just give you the formula now. Sum of parallel sides. Okay, sum of parallel sides into height. I'll tell you what is this height. Okay, whole divided by 2. Sum of the parallel sides into height divided by 2. So, how many parallel sides it has? Just see the trapezium OABC. What are the parallel sides here? OA and BC. They are, see, OC and AB are not parallel, right? OA and BC are the parallel sides. So I can write OA, sum of the parallel sides, right? OA plus BC into height. Height means the distance between the parallel sides. Okay. What is the distance between the parallel sides? We have the parallel sides OA and BC. Distance between the parallel sides is OC. Hope you are understanding. Carefully observe the diagram. Okay. Whole divided by 2. Now we need to substitute for this, right? So what is OA? OA is initial velocity. What is BC? BC is final velocity. OC is time t, the whole divided by 2. Now we found some equation for distance traveled, right? Now, third equation, we know that equation doesn't contain time, right? It is v square minus u square is equal to 2as. So, how do we derive? We can just eliminate that time. For that, I am using first equation of motion, v equals u plus at, or time t is equal to v minus u divided by a. Okay. Now, this time I am going to substitute in the equation for s. Let me take a fresh page. So we have s is equal to, what is the formula? S is equal to u plus v into t divided by 2. U plus v into t divided by 2. So instead of t, I am going to substitute the value. What is t? This u plus v into t is v minus u divided by a. V minus u divided by a. We have already 2 here, right? So this I can rewrite as v plus u into v minus u divided by 2a. In maths, you have already studied the formula v plus u into v minus u is equal to v square minus u square, right? You might have studied that a plus b into a minus b is a square minus b square. This is very similar to that. So s is equal to v square minus u square. Applying the formula, v plus u into v minus u is v square minus u square. We have already a 2a in the denominator. I can take that 2a to the left side. So 2as is equal to v square minus u square, or v square is equal to u square plus 2as. Simple. Very, very simple. Right? So again, I'll tell you the trick once again. In derivation of second equation of motion, we have split the area under the curve into a triangle and a rectangle. In the derivation of third equation of motion, we have taken the complete trapezium area. So if you don't know the formula for area of the trapezium, learn that it is sum of the parallel sides into height divided by 2. So we find out what is parallel sides and find out what is the distance between the parallel sides. That gives you the height. Okay. So parallel sides is OA and BC. OA is U, initial velocity. BC is final velocity V, and OC is time. Now what we have done, since we know that the third equation of motion doesn't contain time, and here the formula we have obtained has a time content in that, we have to eliminate that time. So to eliminate that time, we are taking the help of our first equation of motion. So first equation of motion, from there I got the time as V minus U by A. Then we applied the mathematical formula, V plus U into V minus U is V square minus U square by 2A. Now, let me tell you an interesting thing. See, many of the times when second equation of motion is asked, people derive the third equation of motion. If third equation is derived, finally we don't even realize which is coming as this final equation. Okay. So what you can remember is, because you, of course you will have confusion here, because you are not that used with the graphical representation in physics, right? First time you are learning these types of things in physics. So one easy trick you can memorize is, to derive the second equation of motion, you have to split the graph into two, right? Equation number 2 you are going to derive, you are splitting the graph into two, a triangle and a rectangle. If you remember that, then you will not have any confusion. If you are splitting the graph into two in equation number 2, second equation of motion, then third equation of motion, you can take the area of the trapezium. This is a trick. It helps me it used to help me when I was a student. So just use that trick. That helps you a lot, because in the exam hall you may get confused. No matter how much ever you practice, you will have a doubt which equation, from where to start, right? So first thing, be thorough with this graph. Okay, just learn, practice drawing the graph and understand the method. So second equation, you split the graph into two and find out the area. Then you directly get the equation, second equation of motion. Third equation, you take the area of the trapezium, then eliminate that time from the equation, first equation of motion. You find out the equation for time and substitute there. So easily we have derived all the three equations of motion, isn't it? Now we just derived it, we understood what is to be done. So we should know how to apply these graphs in solving questions. That is again very important thing, right? We should just apply this concept. Say velocity time graph, slope of this velocity time graph will give you the acceleration, and area under the graph will give you the distance traveled. So in the coming video, I will be coming with a lot of practice questions based on graphs. Okay, so stay tuned for that. It is very, very important. And if you have not subscribed to the channel, please subscribe to the channel and click the bell icon, so that the moment I upload the questions on graph based numerical, you will get a notification and you can solve it directly. Okay, so thank you for watching. Hope you understood this session. So practice all these derivation. It is very, very, very important. See you in the next class with questions based on graphical representation of motion. Bye.